Sugar and the mind, the sweet trap that ages the brain. Hello, my dear friends. Do you remember the first sweet you ever tasted? Maybe it was a small candy your mother hid in her apron pocket. Or maybe a spoonful of sugar she stirred into warm milk on a rainy afternoon. That tiny, tender moment stayed with us, didn't it? Because sweetness, for most of us, has always meant love. As children, we were rewarded with sweets. As adults, we comforted ourselves with them. And now, in our later years, that same sweetness often keeps us company. A small cookie after lunch, a glass of sweetened tea when we can't sleep. It feels harmless. It feels like a little joy, something we've earned after a long life. But what if the very thing that comforts us is quietly taking something else away? Our memory, our sharpness, our peace of mind. Today I'd like to talk with you, not as a doctor, not as a teacher, but as a friend, about something that touches nearly everyone over 60. How sugar slowly changes our brain as we age. This isn't about guilt or fear. We've all enjoyed sweetness. We deserve to. But if we understand what it does inside us, we can still enjoy life's sweetness in a wiser, gentler way. You see, our brain, that incredible, mysterious organ, is only about 2% of our body's weight. Yet it consumes nearly 20% of our energy. And most of that energy comes from one source, sugar, or more precisely, glucose. So yes, our brain needs sugar. But it needs it in balance, like a gentle stream, not a flood. When we take in too much refined sugar, from sweets, soft drinks, white bread, or processed foods, our blood sugar rises sharply. And when that happens day after day, it begins to wear down the brain's natural systems. Imagine an old radio. When the circuits are clean, the music plays beautifully. But when the wires rust, the sound becomes fuzzy and distorted. That's what happens inside our brain when it's bathed in sugar for too long. The music of thought turns into static. Scientists call it insulin resistance in the brain, a condition where the brain stops using sugar properly. The result? You begin to forget things. You lose focus. You walk into a room and can't remember why. You feel tired even after a full night's sleep. And sometimes, you lose joy for no clear reason. Many older adults think it's just age, but very often, it's not just time. It's chemistry. It's how sugar quietly rewires the brain. There's another hidden effect too. Sugar feeds inflammation, that slow, silent fire inside the body. It damages tiny blood vessels in the brain, reducing oxygen and making memory fade faster. Over the years, it can even raise the risk of Alzheimer's disease. That's why some doctors now whisper a new term, type 3 diabetes, a form of diabetes that affects the mind more than the body, driven by too much sweetness. But please, my friends, don't let this bring fear, because fear doesn't heal. Understanding does. Now, how can we know when sugar has quietly taken too much space in our lives? Our body gives us gentle clues if we listen. Maybe you feel foggy or sleepy after meals. Your mood swings easily. Calm one moment, irritable the next. You crave sweets right after you've had them. You forget simple things, names, dates, small errands. Or you wake up tired even though you slept enough. These aren't signs of weakness. They are whispers, your body's way of asking for balance. I remember speaking with a retired teacher named Mr. Howard. He was 72, sharp-minded, loved reading history books. But one day he told me, "I feel like someone turned down the light in my head." After retirement, he started adding 2 spoonfuls of sugar to every cup of tea, a small comfort in quiet afternoons. It didn't seem like much, but over time, he felt dizzy, forgetful, and strangely sad. His doctor checked his blood sugar, and it was high, so Mr. Howard made one small change. He replaced sugar with a slice of lemon in his tea. He began walking 20 minutes after lunch, And 3 months later, he smiled and said, "The light came back on." That's the beauty of our bodies. Even in our 70s or 80s, they can still heal, still respond, still surprise us. So, what can we do gently and realistically to keep our brains young and clear? First, begin with awareness, not guilt. You don't need to quit sugar overnight. Simply start noticing how much sugar you use in coffee, sauces, or healthy drinks. Awareness alone starts to change behavior. Next, retrain your taste buds. It takes just 2 weeks for your tongue to adjust. Cut 1 teaspoon this week, another next week. Soon, natural foods, apples, sweet potatoes, even milk, will taste beautifully sweet again. When you taste the world without added sugar, you rediscover flavor, not just sweetness. Then, feed your brain, not just your stomach. Your brain loves healthy fats like olive oil, avocado, fish, and walnuts. Add color to your meals: greens, oranges, purples. Every color carries nutrients that keep your mind bright and alive. And don't forget to move, even gently. A slow morning walk or a few stretches before bed helps your brain use sugar properly. It's like opening the windows to let fresh air in. Sleep deeply. When we're tired, the brain craves sugar for quick energy. But what it truly needs is rest. A calm night of sleep clears toxins from the brain and restores clarity better than any dessert can. And finally, share your meals and share your laughter. Loneliness makes us crave sugar because sometimes it's not the mouth that's hungry, it's the heart. So invite a friend for tea, call your grandchildren, or join a local club. Connection is nature's sweetest medicine. Let me share one more story about a grandmother named Eleanor. She was 78, living alone after her husband passed away. Every evening, she'd have a small bar of chocolate. "Just to keep me company," she'd say. At first, it was harmless. But over time, 1 bar became 2. Her sleep grew restless, her memory foggy. She'd forget where she left her glasses, or lose her words mid-sentence. Her doctor warned her about her sugar levels. Eleanor laughed softly. "At my age, what difference does it make?" One day she was baking cookies for her great-grandson, but she accidentally used salt instead of sugar. The boy took 1 bite and laughed. "Grandma, these are salty cookies." They both burst into laughter, and in that moment she realized something. She didn't need sugar to feel joy. She needed connection, love, and purpose. So she made a small promise to herself to replace half her sweets with fruit and half her lonely evenings with phone calls to old friends. Months later, she said, "My memory isn't perfect, but I feel more alive. The sweetness I was missing wasn't in chocolate. It was in people." And that, my friends, is the lesson I want to leave with you tonight. We all love sweetness, in food, in memories, in moments of kindness. But as we grow older, we begin to understand true sweetness isn't found in sugar. It's found in peace, laughter, and love, freely given and received. You don't need to give up life's pleasures. You just need to choose them wisely. The kind of sweetness that strengthens you, not the one that silently takes from you. Every time you choose a walk instead of a soda, a smile instead of a sweet, you're telling your brain, "I still care about you." And that, my dear friends, is the most powerful medicine of all, caring for ourselves with tenderness. So tonight, when you sip your tea, perhaps add a slice of lemon instead of sugar. Take a deep breath. Feel the calm in your chest and whisper to yourself, "I am still learning. I am still healing. I am still alive." Because wisdom isn't about knowing everything. It's about listening, even to the quiet voice of your body. This is elder wisdom, where we learn to live slowly, kindly and wisely. If this message touched your heart, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs a little sweetness, the kind that never fades.